Hey guys, today in this video I'm going to prove how increasing your training frequency, like training 6 days a week, is going to increase your strength and performance in general. And I'll give examples right off the bat of why that is. So I work in massage therapy and I get a lot of guys who come in who are carpenters, plumbers, even some farmers in my area, etc. And these guys work hard and they work long days every day, okay? So as a result, their arms are like huge. Their grip strength is huge. Very strong. Their hands, they're like big meat hooks hands, okay? And just strong in general. And these guys a lot of the time don't even work out and they're in better shape than me. And it's because they're essentially training every day, okay? And like I have my one friend, he's a mechanic, works with his hands every day. When he shakes your hand, it's like my hand it's like cripples my hand, okay? He's so strong. So when I hear guys that with like the Mike Mentzer mentality, like his voice comes to mind, Mike Mentzer, you know, you have to give like 4 days rest to make sure that you're like fully recovered and such. No, I think that's complete bullshit. I think it's the opposite. I think that the more you train, the more stronger you're going to get. But based on just the examples I gave of professions that work hard and they work long days, like 6 days a week sometimes, okay? Every day. And I think translating that to the gym is going to increase your strength. Now, obviously, even those guys have a day off. They have weekends too where they rest and such. So rest days are important, okay? And I'm not suggesting going to the gym and maxing out every day like super hard, but I'm just saying that a constant stimulus is going to be better than giving a stimulus, then waiting a few days, then coming back with a stimulus, and then waiting a few days. It's the exact same. It would be the exact same as if like one day you ate in a caloric surplus, you're trying to bulk. You ate in a caloric surplus, and then for 3 days you don't eat in a caloric surplus, and then 4 days later you eat at a caloric surplus. No, you got to be eating at a caloric surplus every day. And it's the same with steroids, like on a blasting cruise cycle. Like, it's like if you went on steroids and then you went totally off steroids for a few months and then you went totally back on, you're not going to make gains. You have to stay on. It has to be a constant stimulus for growth to happen, I believe, okay? A lot of the guys with the Mike Mentzer philosophy, it's like, no, you need to wait a few days because that's where the growth is going to happen. You know, obviously, you want rest. Rest is important. You don't want to overstimulate. I'm not suggesting constant overstimulation. What I'm saying is just a constant stimulation. And then there are some programs, I believe it's like the Bulgarian squat program, I want to call it. Might be wrong. Might be another Eastern European country where it's like literally they squat every fucking day, but they don't go to failure and they don't max out and they still leave reps in reserve. It's like they might do, like if your max is like say 315 pounds on a squat or whatever, you know, you're going to do like half of that, but you're going to do that every day type of thing. So it's just constant stimulus. And I'm not suggesting to do that, quite the contrary, but it's a similar idea that I'm saying here where you got to train 5 or 6 days a week. 6 days a week, I think, is fine. Ronnie Coleman did. A lot of the pro bodybuilders did. I know they're on gear and shit, but, you know, this channel is about gear as well. So, you know, that's the factor as well. Constant stimulus with, you know, having the gear and the food to support that. Because if you don't, you know, maybe, you know, if you're natural and you're in a caloric deficit, it might not be great for you actually. And there might be more risk of injury. It might not work. Maybe, but I don't know. I'm not even going to go there. So essentially, this is how you would do this. Okay. Some days, like if you really want to grow and put on strength, there's going to be days where you're going to do progressive overloads and such. Okay, to increase the amount of weight you're able to push or pull. That's just the bottom line. There needs to be some like adding weight, adding and kind of pushing your limits and going in an excess in a lift as far as like putting on strength goes, because you're not just going to put on strength by doing a weight that you can do 25, 30 reps on. That being said, you're not going to necessarily do those strength days every day of the week. What you're going to do is maybe once a week do a strength day, and then other days of the week do more accessory movements, or more like you could do compound movements, but ones where you leave reps in reserve. You don't like fry your central nervous system, but you're doing something every day. It's a constant stimulus, and then I believe when your body is in that state where it is being constantly stimulus, it has to adapt somehow. And the way it's going to adapt is by growing, it's by changing, it's by being stronger. Okay? It's just, I think that's just the bottom line of things. Because if you give your, like Mondays you do stimulus day, and then wait a few days, and then Thursday or Friday you do one and you wait a few days, it's like, your body's going to come down to its normalcy, which is one where it's not being stimulated, and I don't think it's going to grow ideally there. So that's what I'm suggesting. And even if you go to the, like I did this yesterday, I went to the gym. I'm just the only exercise, I only did one exercise because it was technically kind of my rest day, so it wasn't a day that I was going to go and just blast like, flat bench like max or anything. So like what I did was I just went to the reverse delt flies and did like 5 sets of those, and then I walked out. Didn't do anything else, but I did something. So I provided some stimulus, right? And I'm not suggesting even doing that, but at least do something. At least for, if you don't have the time, make it a 6-day workout a week type of schedule, 1 day off. That's what I'm doing, and I'm noticing that's where I'm actually growing. My body's adapted to be doing that. And like today, for example, I did a push day, which I'm working on increasing my bench press. I made a few videos of that where my goal is to push 315 pounds, a 3-plate bench press. But today I was doing a machine bench press at only like 170 pounds. Right? So today wasn't like I was pushing my strength per se, but I still got those reps in. I did some tricep extensions. I did some overhead presses. I did some pec presses, 3 to 5 sets each, and then called it a day. So it wasn't a huge day. It's not like I'm going to wake up tomorrow and feel my, feel like muscle soreness or anything. It's not about that, because if you worked out every day where where you do feel that soreness, then that's going to be bad. Okay, but once in a while, like once a week, you can do it where you do feel the soreness. That's what my general rule in this explanation. This is what I'm doing anyway. You guys might disagree with what I'm saying, and if you do, leave in the comments section below. But this is just my philosophy that I'm implementing now in this training block, and I'm sharing that with you, and it's working. Okay. Next time I go and I do my press day in like 2 or 3 days, I'm going to go stronger. And this is the other thing I'm going to mention, which is like a basic, push, pull, leg, break, and then push. So that's like 4 days in between your pushes. Ideally, based on this training frequency that I'm talking about, I want to be pushing every other day. But it's going to be a strong push day, and then I'll do a pull day or legs, and then come back to the push day and do like more of a volume push day, or like more tricep volume, and then pull, and then come back to that strong push day again. So there's like a 4 or 5 days between push days, strong push days, but in the middle there's a more volume push day, if that makes sense. Or even if I just went in and blasted my triceps like for like 5 to 10 sets and like in that middle push day, that'd be fine too. Or do actual bench press, but not like a 5x5, or not like a strength bench press day, but just hitting machines like I did today, like threw on 160, 180 pounds, and like rep that out 10-20 times, a few sets, right? That's fun. And then hitting a pec press and things for like 10-20 reps at a time, that's fine. I got something in. I stimulated the muscle. I stimulated the nervous system connections of the muscle and everything. So it's in a constant state of stimulation, but it's not like it's being overworked. So there is still a day in between of rest. The next time I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna blast the motherfuckers up, and it's gonna be sore the next day. in my arms and everything else, because I'm going to go a heavy push day next time, if that makes sense. So what are your thoughts on this video? I don't really hear many people talking about this. In fact, a lot of people say do the opposite. So I'm suggesting to do what a lot of people are against doing, right? In two ways, like increase the training frequency and increase the weight and do more push, like with even bad form. Like, doesn't matter. On a push day, if you can go from point A to point B on the lift, bad form doesn't matter. It's about the strength, just about recruiting muscle fibers and whatever. Meanwhile, on the other push day where it's more about volume, yeah, then you can work more form, more on the eccentrics, etc., etc. So I'll leave it there, guys. Leave in the comments section below what your thoughts are. Thanks for watching. Peace.